In this video, we'll be doing some basic data cleaning using Python. So oftentimes when we receive data sets as data analysts or data scientists, it can sometimes be overwhelming knowing where to begin or how to actually go about cleaning your data and preparing your data so that you can effectively analyze it. So in this video, I'll show you some very simple yet very powerful steps that you can take to prepare your data at a basic level and do some initial data cleaning to get your data where it needs to be. These data cleaning steps can be applied to any type of data set and can be done in a matter of minutes. So the first thing we'll need to do is import our libraries. So in this case, I'm just going to import pandas as PD, as pandas will be the main sort of library we'll be using to do the data cleaning. So then I can run this, and then the next step will be to actually load the data set. So I can do this by storing the data set in a data frame called df, and then calling pd.read_csv, and then specifying the name of my data set, which in this case is going to be a food nutrition data set by USDA. So then I will just type in df.head so that I can actually preview the data as well. And then let's run this. And there you have it. So we basically have some food items with their nutritional information like calories, protein, fat, carbohydrates, and so on. So now that we've loaded the data set into our Jupyter Notebook, the next step would be to actually get familiar and understand our data set a bit more before we actually go into doing some cleaning. So how I like to do this is by first calling df.info just to get some basic information about the data set. So this gives us some information like the number of entries. So this is basically the number of rows, the number of columns. So we have 31 columns, and it gives us the description for each of our variable or each of our column headers, as well as the data type of each. So this is kind of a very useful command that lets you just get a glimpse of your data set. Next, I can also do something like this where I'm getting the number of rows and columns. So if, for instance, you don't want to see all this data or all this information, you can actually just do df.shape and then get the number of rows, number of columns, store them in a variable, and then print them out. So I'm going to run this, and this tells me that I have 4,124 rows and 31 columns in my data set. This information is actually also available here if you look closely in the df.info, but if you want it kind of more explicitly laid out to you, you can also use this code. So next, what I like to do is a check on all the data types and then kind of convert any data type that looks off. So in this case, I think everything looks fine except this ID column where it's stored as an integer. So maybe let's try to convert the ID into text. So how I can do this is by converting the df ID column, saying dot as type str. So I'm basically converting this into a string and then storing it back to our original column. And then I'll just type in df.dtypes to verify that we actually converted the data type. So when I run this, you can see that the ID is now no longer an integer, and we were successfully able to convert it into a string. Next, what I like to do to kind of better understand the data set is by running df.describe, which gives me a statistical summary of the data set. So this kind of gives me the key stats like obviously the count, the mean, standard deviation, minimum values, maximum values for each of the variables. So it's very useful in kind of understanding your data set and getting familiar with it before you actually go into cleaning or analyzing it. So now that we know how our data looks like, we can now begin doing our actual data cleaning. So the first step that I always like to do is delete any unnecessary columns or kind of drop any unnecessary columns that I have. So say for instance, I do not need these last three columns here, high vitamin C, high vitamin E, and high vitamin D. So how I would go about deleting these is by first storing the three columns I don't want in attributes to drop, and then I will type in df.drop and then specify columns equals attributes to drop. So it will basically drop all the columns that you specify here within this list, and then store that back in our original data frame, which is df. And then I will also preview this using df.head and specify 2 so that it only shows me 2 rows instead of 5. And then let me run this. So let's verify that our columns were indeed dropped. So as you can see, we no longer have these three columns here, high vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin D, and we were able to successfully delete those columns. So the next step after I've removed any unwanted columns is to actually rename columns that I want to change. So say for instance, I wanted to change the ID column to food ID and the description column to food name. How I do this is basically say df.rename and then columns equals, and then just list out all the column headers that you want to rename with their old name and the new name. And then same thing, we will preview the data by saying df.head parenthesis 2 and then run this. So as you can see here, our column headers are now renamed into food ID and food name instead of the old column headers. Perfect. So now that's all set. The next thing we'll do is to check our data for any duplicate values. So the way you can do that is by running df.duplicated.sum and then seeing how many duplicate values are there in your data set. So in this case, we actually don't have any duplicates. It shows 0. But if, for instance, you did have any duplicates, how you can remove them is by doing df.drop_duplicates. So nothing actually changes here, but if we had duplicates, for instance, doing df.drop duplicates would actually remove any rows that are duplicated in the data set. So after you've removed the duplicates, the next thing you'd want to do is to actually confirm the duplicates were removed. So you will basically rerun this exact same command and verify that your number of duplicates has went down to 0. So after the duplicates are sorted, the next thing we'd want to do is deal with missing values. So the same thing, we're going to first check for missing values. So you can do this by doing df.isNull.sum, and then it's going to show you how many missing values are there in each column. So in this case, our data set seems to be pretty clean. It's actually showing that we have 0 missing values across the board. So say for instance, we actually had some missing values in this data set. How we can remove them is by running df.dropNA, and that would actually get rid of all the missing values. So there's actually a few ways that you can deal with missing values in your data set. So one is obviously deleting all the rows with missing values. However, there are other methods used to deal with missing values. So one method is to actually impute or fill the missing values with a specific value. So say for instance, I want to fill all the missing values and replace it with 0. What I could do is say df.fillNA and then specify what you want to replace the missing values with. So if I want to replace with 0, I'd put in 0. If I want to say 1, I'd replace it with 1, and so on. What I could also do is to fill the missing values with a more kind of statistical value. For example, if I wanted to fill all the missing values with the mean or the average of that column, I could do df.fillNA and then df.mean. So that would actually replace all the missing values with the mean or average of that column. So ultimately, which method you choose is up to you. It really depends on the data and the data set that you're dealing with. In some cases, if you just can't tolerate missing values, it's just best to drop them altogether. In some cases where each row of data is very important, you may resort to another method like filling them with the mean or median. So whichever method you choose, don't forget to type in df.info so that you can actually preview the data after dropping the values. Perfect. So you can see here again the number of rows for each column, and if you did actually drop some missing values, obviously this would change, so then you can use this to verify that. So after dealing with any missing values, the last thing I'd like to tackle is creating any new columns. So sometimes you might need to create derived or calculated columns based on your raw data. So say, for example, we wanted to create a new variable called protein per calorie, which is basically our protein here divided by the number of calories, so that we can see which foods are perhaps dense in protein, so we can see that ratio of the protein per calorie. How I can create that new column is basically specifying df and then protein per calorie equals df protein divided by df calories, and then I will again preview the data by typing in df.head and then seeing if the new column was created. So as you can see here, a new column was successfully created, and it shows us the ratio of the protein to calories. Cool. So I think that's about it. Those are a few simple steps that you can take to do an initial data cleaning on your data set. So obviously the key things that you need to remember are, first, getting familiar with your data. So that's looking at the number of columns, the data types, and then converting any data types if necessary. And then obviously deleting unnecessary columns, renaming columns. And then once you're familiar with your data, next would be to remove any duplicates, remove any missing values, or deal with the missing values in whichever method you choose. And then the last thing would be to create any new columns or calculated columns. So at a basic level, these simple steps will bring your data where it needs to be, or at least close to where it needs to be. And obviously there might be more advanced or like deeper data cleaning that you might need to do depending on your data set. But the steps I've shown you today are kind of universal and can be applied to any type of data set. So there you have it. I hope you found this video useful, and don't forget to like and subscribe.